What's going on, everyone? Talmadge here. Now it's time to talk New Year's resolutions. I'm sure you've all heard of them. I'm sure 90% of you have made at least one in your life. And New Year's resolutions, the new year rolls around, everyone's like,
okay, I have some stuff I want to change in my life that I don't really like, or some stuff that I want to accomplish in the new year.
So they write down what's called New Year's resolutions. In 2021, I decided not to do this because I just wrote off the whole idea as being dumb. As a result, I didn't really have much direction in my life, which honestly was not the best move for the year. I look back at my life in 2021 and honestly, I see someone who spent a lot of their time distracted, especially on social media, didn't really achieve all the goals they wanted as far as studying. Now, obviously, I did study some and I did learn a lot of things in 2021. 2021 taught me a lot of the greatest lessons in my life, which I'll probably talk about more in an upcoming video, but still, I did waste a lot of time in 2021. So in 2022, I did not want to repeat that same mistake. This year, I decided to set some clear goals to give myself a vision for the future and decided to bring you guys along that journey so that hopefully you can find some tips and tricks as you decide to set your own goals and plan out your own year for success in 2022. The first thing I did this year, starting off my year, was to open up the Bible and read some from the Word of God. As a Christian, the Word of God is really important to me, and reading that is one of the cornerstones that I want to really build this year off of. I've had good habits of reading in the past, but kind of fell off in the past month or so, and really want to hone in on that and make that a cornerstone of my life in 2022. From there, I decided to crack open my journal and write in a few lines. I've been daily journaling since my 19th birthday, every single day, never skipped a day. And if I did miss a day, I would go back and fill it in. It's been really awesome to see the record of how my goals and thoughts have progressed, even just since my 19th birthday back in July. It's a practice I highly recommend you doing, and I'll make a video about it in the future if anyone wants to see it. Now it's finally time to start planning out my year, or rather creating a planner. I drew pretty much the whole planner idea from the channel Pickup Lines on YouTube, which I'll throw a link to up here in the corner and down in the description as well if you want a probably more detailed guide on how to put this together, but I'll run you through the basics. So on the first page of this notebook, which is just a normal dotted notebook, I decided to make a key. So measuring how many squares go vertically, how many squares go horizontally, and then setting up a few clear guidelines, such as a dot meaning a task, a crossed out dot with an X meaning I completed the task, an arrow over the dot meaning I migrated that task to another day, say I didn't get it done, so I'll move it to the next day. A crossed out item meaning the task is canceled or irrelevant at that point, and a start item meaning it's very important and I really need to get it done. From there, I moved on to the first section, which is the year at a glance section. This section is designed to give you a glance of 6 months of your year. As just one, you open it up and you can see 6 months of your year from January through June and July through December. I divided each page into 3 columns for a total of 6 columns for the set of 2 pages, and then wrote the headings of the months on each column. From there, I decided to do a mini calendar of sorts, and then below that, write a list of all the days so that way I can write in a bit more detail. This section is a total of 4 pages in length and is really nice to give you a huge, broad, 10,000 foot overview of what's going on in your year. Next is the month at a glance page, and this again spans 2 pages, and what it is basically like your standard month calendar, except I'm making it. So drawing out a ton of boxes across the 2 pages, 5 rows tall and 7 rows wide across both pages, and then numbering those boxes and putting in a little heading for the month, which in this case is January. This obviously gives you a more detailed look at your month, and you can write in all your little schedule-y things. Like for example, I might have a doctor's appointment on one day and I want to release a video on this day, so I can write those in and quickly see in my month how many videos I want to release when all my appointments are in detail, and it really just gives you a more detailed breakdown of what the year in a glance already shows. On the page after this, I decided to do a quick check-in / planning page. This is a page where I can kind of check in monthly and every month and sort of see, where I'm at physically, mentally, and spiritually. If there's any things that I want to improve, for example, this month I wanted to really focus on my sleep and establishing a good workout habit. So I might write how my body's feeling at this moment and then the plans I want to do to improve whatever negative aspects of how I'm feeling are. On the page following that, I wrote a quick brain dump section. So if there's anything, especially more businessy, YouTubey type stuff that I want to write down on that page that maybe isn't as good for my daily journal because I really want to see it often, I can write those things down there and I'll have them as notes. Then on the next set of 2 pages on the left, I wrote a habit tracker, which is basically just a mini calendar where I can cross off each day that I complete a habit. There's quite a few habits that I'm trying to kind of incorporate into my life as this year gets started, so this is going to be really useful. And on the next page, I decided to make a gratitude list of 31 days, and every day I can write something I'm grateful for, just to help keep me in the mindset of being grateful for every single thing God has blessed me with and all the wonderful blessings that I have in my life. Even as I pursue new goals and ambitions, I want to remain conscious of the many blessings that I already have, because I think that's really important in cultivating contentment and just gratitude in general, to not take things for granted. And finally, this is the meat and potatoes of this planner. This is the week at a glance section spanning 2 pages, again divided up into 6 columns, with the rightmost column being divided in 2 for Saturday and Sunday, because there's usually not quite as much going on those days and I don't have to be as strict with my schedule. On these days, I like to write out a little list of all the times, ranging from usually around 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. in 30-minute increments, so I can sort of time block my day if I really want to. Have my top 3 tasks at the top of each day, and then from there I can write subtasks that I also want to get done but are of lesser importance for that day. This really gives me a good overview of my week every time, and I'm only making one of these right now, and then every Sunday I will make a new week section, and every month likewise I'll make a whole new month section for this planner. So now that pretty much wraps up my planner design. I hope you really like it, and if you can follow along just by a normal dotted notebook, and you can pretty much follow along with the steps very easily. Again, I'll link the video that Pickup Lines made on this in the description if you're interested in a bit more detail as to the planner. But now it's time to move on to the actual goals. What are my actual goals for 2021, and how am I going about setting them in such a way that they're at least somewhat achievable and I have somewhat of a plan of action to pursue? So this time I decided to make a blank page in my daily journal where I write down every day, make a completely blank page, and write in 2022 goals on that page, so that way I have a clear page I can refer back to. That's all my goals listed in one place. The first section is kind of YouTube/business, and in that I have 2 goals. That is to get this channel to 100,000 subscribers and my Big Bro Security channel to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Now, if you know the subscriber counts of both of my channels, this one is at like 50 and my other one is around 3,000 something. That seems very impossible. But I want to set big goals and be really ambitious with the goals that I do set, but somewhat within the realm of possibility, because honestly, I'd be happy if I hit even a fourth or a half of that goal. It just gives me a lot of motivation to really strive extra hard for those goals. From there, I also set a few personal goals, such as reach my peak level of health and fitness in this year that I've ever done so far, read at least 2 books a month, pass the ECPPT exam, which is a cybersecurity certification, and travel somewhere by plane at least once in the year. The last one's a bit of a bucket list item, but I included it just for fun. This next section that I write right under my goals is one that I think really important in the process of setting your New Year's resolutions, and that is sort of breaking down the goals that you have into more of systems or actionable steps that you can take. So for the YouTube business part, this is really the most important, I think, for this section. And I'm basically taking my goals of hitting 100,000 subscribers, pretending like I've already hit 100,000 subscribers, and that I am looking back and telling my current self, okay, here's what you need to do to get there. So for Tal Kelly 3, I decided that it was really important that I make at least 1 high quality video every week, because 1 video a week is a pretty good frequency, something that I can decently manage. And if I'm consistently make high quality videos that people want to watch, people will subscribe, and therefore that will get me closer to my goal. For Big Bro Security, the frequency and the style of content is sort of conducive to having 1 to 2 videos a week, and maybe I might potentially consider bringing my brother on as someone to help on the channel, so that way I can make that amount of videos per week, as that's what seemed to perform well in the past. And that is some actionable steps that I can take that aren't dependent on other people, but dependent on me to help reach my goal that is dependent on other people of hitting 100,000 subscribers. For a few things like my personal goals of being healthy, the actionable steps include making a workout plan and sticking to it, making a diet plan and being more conscious about the foods I eat. For reading 2 books a week, it's reading at least 1 page every single day to get me in the habit of reading every day. For passing the ECPPT, it is scheduling out my time more so that way I can block out time for specific study separate from my other ambitions and goals and work that I have in life. And then for traveling somewhere, obviously that doesn't really need a ton of steps besides maybe saving up a little traveling fund so that way I have money to do it whenever I'm ready. And that's pretty much it. That's how I'm planning my new year going into 2022. I'll probably make a review video at the end of 2022 letting you know if this works, but I really believe this system is going to work for me and hopefully for you too if you decide to follow along. If you enjoyed this video, please feel free to subscribe and help me hit that goal of 100,000 subscribers in 1 year. I believe that anybody can do it if they put their mind to it, and you are a big part of helping me get there if you choose to subscribe. Also, like the video if you enjoyed it or found it helpful. Comment below if you have any strategies that you like to use for setting goals that you found effective in the past, as I'd love to know them and implement any of them into my routine that I find could work or worked for you. I'm Talmadge, and I'll see you in the next video.